Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. Today we'll be doing something I have never done in this channel, which is a Hacks the Bugs challenge. I figured I would do this because it's uh, interesting, at least for me, than the packet tracer activities, so I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. But before we start, I just want to put a quick disclaimer. I just want to say, please do not use any of these activities that we're going to be doing today on a home environment or on your work environment or on any other live machines. We're only doing this in a safe lab environment. And you can use you can perform these activities in a number of labs, such as TryHackMe or environments such as this, Hack the Box. And you can practice your skills through that. So please do not use any live machines that are not safe to run because that will put you in trouble. With that being said, let me go straight to the video. So today we'll be exploiting this IP address and try to see what we can get. So our end goal is to, for any of you who have never done a capture the flag challenge, our end goal is to submit a user flag and a root flag. So this tells us that we need to first capture a user flag, and then we gotta escalate our privilege to root or administrator level to the to the super user in short. So we're gonna be doing that. So let's start with our Nmap scan, which is our favorite tool to use for every hacker out there. So let's get started. I'm first gonna do a directory for our activity. I'm gonna call this vaccine, and I'm gonna cd to it. So I just changed my directory to vaccine. There's nothing here. And now let's start with our nmap, our reconnaissance stage, to see what ports are open, what vulnerabilities we have, and what we can do with it. So first we're gonna start by using nmap and using a flag S, which is a still scan. On this scan, it just sends a SYN request to the target machine, and our target machine is going to respond with SYN ACK just to perform those three-way handshake. And then our nmap will discontinue the communication as soon as it receives the SYN ACK before doing the three-way handshake, because the nmap goal is just to see if the port is open. That way, once it makes sure it's open, it just leaves. While doing that, we leave footprint, but that's fine. This is a lab environment. If the victim is running a Wireshark or any kind of packet sniffers, they will be able to see that we were there or we tried to, exploit their IP address, because they're going to see that SYN request. But this is a really good tool, a really good flag to use the still scan, because it tells us all TCP ports and whatnot, like everything that's open. So next we're gonna do the SC. This is just the Nmap script engine, which is a which is a built-in engine. So just use the Nmap script to scan, and we use the flag v to see a uh, detailed description of what's going on with our IP address, to see which ports are open again. I'm gonna use the flag P to see to scan, to make sure all ports are scanned. We have like 65,535. We want to make sure that all of them are scanned instead of just scanning the common ports. And I'm also going to do the open command to make sure we only scan, we only receive on an output only ports that accept communications. We don't want to see the closed ports because we're not going to be able to do anything with them. So with that being said, we just put our IP address now. I can see it right here. I can see it right here if you guys can see it. So I'm just putting this IP address on our nmap. So which is 10.129.60.78. Just in case you guys can't see, I'm just gonna zoom it a little bit. All right, so before doing that, I have to use sudo to escalate my privilege because it's not going to run without a sudo command. I'm just going to put my password. Oops, I think I mistyped my password. So our Nmap is running right now. It's trying to scan every port on this machine, every open port. So we just have to wait a little bit for it. Okay, so we're done with the Nmap scan. Let's see what we get. So this is our IP address. We see that port TCP22 is open. This is just a secure shell communication where the IP communicates. We also have the TCP 21. This is just used for an FTP to initiate communication between the client and the server. We have 80 HTTP. This is an HTTP, as you know. 443 is HTTPS, 80 is HTTP. So this tells me that there's a web page running on this machine. So let's scroll down a little bit and see what we can get. Excuse me. So let's see. Okay, so right here, we already saw that TCP21 was open for FTP. We also see it here. FTP is opened. Uh, well, over here, if you can see, it says FTP anon or anonymous, FTP login allowed, which means that we can log into the FTP port using the anonymous username and password. That's what it means. So we found our first vulnerability where we can access this IP address. Let's see another thing. We already saw this on top. It's running HTTP web page. Uh, Here it says HTTP title megacore plugin. So I'm sure the web page is going to be megacore plugin. As you can see here, the web page is going to be megacorp. So that's what it displays over here. So let's scroll down a little bit and see what else we got. Okay, it looks like that's about it. I'm gonna scroll up just to see if there's anything we missed. Okay, right. So we just see our open ports. Okay, so okay, so now our next step will be we'll just put this in our web server because we saw that it has an HTTP web page. All right, so I'm just gonna put this here. All right, so there goes our web page. So it says Megacore plugin. It asks for a username and password, which unfortunately we don't have. So that's a good thing. So we're gonna try to get into this web page and see what we can get. Remember, our end goal is to capture a flag. We should find a .txt file that has our flag in it. So for this, let me just try a random, username and password. Sometimes you never know. They use a simple password like I can put the username root. I can put the password. Just trying to see. Right. I've tried some of them early on today. Try admin again. I'll just use like a default password 12345. Okay, so that means like the common password that don't work. So we're gonna have to go to our terminal and see what we can do. So remember, we said this IP has an FTP open port and it allows anonymous logging. So that's a good thing. We're gonna first explore there and see what we can get. So let's go to our FTP and we need to put our IP address. Just gonna grab it from here. Just gonna paste it right here. And then it asks for a username and for a password. So as we saw earlier, I'm just putting the anonymous username and password because it says anonymous, it accepts anonymous username and password login. So it says login successful. We're on our FTP right now. Let's see what we get. So over here it says we have a backup.zip file. We don't know what's there, so I'm just going to get it. Backup.zip. Okay, so we successfully got the backup.zip. I don't see anything else here, so we're just going to exit out. Okay, so right now we see a backup.zip file. So let's cat and see. Sorry, we have to unzip it. Backup.zip. See what's in there. Okay, so this also asks us for a password. Just gonna put root admin. Okay, those passwords don't work. So we're gonna have to use a software called John the Ripper to crack this password. But before cracking it, we need to we need to get the hash password from this file and then put the hash into our John Ripper software and get the password from there. So let's do that. So first we need to put it in a file format where it's accessible by our Jones with our Jones Repair software. So let's do that here. Zip to John, and then our backup.zip file. So as I said, this is gonna extract the hash file from this folder, and then we take that hash file and then crack it on our Jones Reaper password. Let's press enter. So this is what we get. It says it's a pk zip file, and this is the hash. So this is what we need to crack. So just to make it easy on us, I'm just going to run the command again, and I'm just going to save it to a hash.txt file. Okay, so let me see here real quick. Hash.txt. Okay, if I cat the hash.txt file, I should be able to see the hash, which is right here. So now we have the hash. I'm gonna crack this hash and make it a plain password. So for that, again, we use John the Ripper. We do John. We're gonna do a dictionary attack. So we're just gonna use a word list, which is in our user share word lists raq.txt file. And then we just specify our file, which is the hash.txt file, which has the hash that we're gonna crack. So press enter. Okay, so we must have done something wrong here. We go to our John. So I'm trying to see if I missed anything. Oh, we just did a misspelling right here. There was a typo. It should be word listed, not worded listed. Just gonna rewrite it again. Okay, so oops, same thing again. Why same thing again? I just did it 2 times on different places. Okay. All right, so we have cracked the hash. Put John, show hash.txt. So it says we have one cracked password, which is our backup.zip file, and this is our password for it, 741852963. So this hash has converted to this. That was what we were trying to do. All right, so hopefully now we can get to we can unzip our backup.zip file. Okay, it's asking us for a password. I already copied it. Just gonna paste it. All right, so what do we get here? All right, so now we have the index.php file and the style.css. So these are just files used in web development. The style.css handles like the visual appearance of an HTML element, and the index.php file handles server logic and like the dynamic content that we see that interacts with the user. So first, let me go to my index.php and see what I can get. I'm just going to cat it. Okay. Uh, so I'm just going to run the command again, but I'm going to grep it and specify that I'm just looking for a keyword that says password. Instead of going through all this, I just put that. Okay, now it's much more manageable to read. Okay, so get our password right here. So we found our username for the web page, which is the admin. We guessed that already on first, if you guys remember. But our username was admin, and our password is again in a hash format. This time it's on a MD5 hash format. So we're gonna have to crack this password. So let me just get this file. I'm gonna get this file and put it in a. I'm gonna put it in a file and call it web page credentials or something like that. Okay, so I'm gonna copy. I'm gonna paste this. I'm just gonna erase everything else except my hash file that I want crack, and I just saved my username as well. Okay. So now this is our username. This is our hashed password. Just gonna save this. I'm just gonna say webpage create.txt. Okay, so there goes our new file. Just want to check if it's still there. Okay, we have our admin and cracked and the hash that we need to crack. And I'm also gonna put this in a separate file because we can't crack it with the username inside. We need to separate this from the username. I'm just gonna use a text editor. You can use Nano or VI. I'm gonna put in a file called just webpage. I'm gonna put webpage password. Okay. Okay, here's our text editor. I'm just gonna paste this. And exit out. Okay, now I have my web page. Let's see, okay, we have our hash file here. So on this one, I'm gonna be using hashcat instead of John the Ripper because here it says the hash algorithm is on MD5, uh, which may work on John the Ripper, but I know hashcat is usually is much great than John the Ripper when cracking MD5 hash. So we're just going to be using that. So I'm going to use hashcat. I'm going to put a flag A to specify what kind of attack I want to do. So in this case, I'm just going to put 0, which is going to be a dictionary attack. If I put like 3, I can make it a brute force attack. Or if I use a 1, I can make this a combination attack. With that being said, also, I'm gonna add another flag, which is flag M. This is just to specify what kind of hash I want to use. I'm just going to put another 0. This just means automatically an MD5 hash algorithm, which we have here right now. So if I put, like, for example, let's say if I put like a 1000 over here, that will make it an NTLM hash. These are just different hash algorithms, but we have an MD5 here, so I'm just going to put 0, which will crack it in an MD5 format. I must specify my file here, which is going to be our web page password, and then I'm gonna specify the pass, which is user share. It's the same password lists, and then rocku.txt. Just gonna press OK here. Okay, so I'm gonna put hashcat message show and see. Oh, I forgot to specify what I want to see. Okay. Okay, so this hash is now converted to Corey789. So this was the password that the web page used. So I'm just going to grab this and paste it over there. Hopefully we'll be able to log in now. So remember, the username was admin as we saw, and the password that we just cracked, I'm just going to paste it. Sometimes the paste doesn't really work on these labs. I don't know why, but let's see. Okay, it works this time. If not, I was just going to enter it manually. Okay, so now we're inside. We still don't see any flags to capture. I don't see these links are interactive. There's no interactive links on this web page. Just says Megacorp car catalog. I see a search button. I'm going to put car and see what comes up. So on the web browser right here, you can see that there's a search is equal to car. So we can perform a SQL injection on this web server to get into the database. So after the search equals to sign, we can put values. We can put like payloads that we can do on our SQL injection. So there are different kind of payloads. Like we have a time-based, union-based, boolean-based, error-based. Like we have different kind of payloads that we can put in to get access to the shell. So this SQL injection just helps us to do a reverse shell on this machine and get a shell so that we can access the database. So I'm just gonna try a payload like a error-based payload and see what we can get. Let's see. Okay, so right here, if you can see it closely, it says error, syntax error, at or near XXX, line select from cars, where name like. So it's just giving us an error message. This tells me that I can put some files right here and it can force the database to give me something else. So if I put instead of, let me just put I can put anything actually. I see a mountain here. Just gonna put mountain, see what comes in. So nothing comes up. The error came up because there was a error based payload that I put it in. So we can we can try one by one and check our payloads, but instead of that, we can automate our process and use a tool called SQL Map, which injects our uh, payload automatically and see which one works, and also tells us if it's injectable or if we can't do it. But from what I see here, we have the search equals to sign, so it should be injectable, or maybe not, but we'll see. So for now, I'm just going to put cars right here. And I'm just going to go to my terminal again, do a SQL map. I'm going to use the U flag, and I'm just going to grab what I have here. I'm going to copy this. And I'm not sure if I copied it. Let me do it again. Copy. and then I'm gonna paste this again. So the U flag means I'm just specifying which what server I'm doing the SQL injection on. So we did that. Now we have to specify the cookie because there's a cookies in this web server. Without that, we can't. Our SQL map can't have access to this web page. So we have to right-click, inspect, and go to our storage where we can see our cookies. And here's the cookies if you can see it. And here's a username for it, PHP SSID. I'm just gonna copy this. I'm gonna copy this and then put it here. Before pasting it here, I have to specify cookie equals to, and then I'm gonna paste the value I have, and then I'm gonna put another equals to, and then put my value here. That was the PHP SSID was a name. Now I'm gonna put my value right here. I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm gonna paste this right here. So this way I can run my SQL map and see if this server is injectable or not. Okay, so it's running. I just put yes again. Okay, it's going. Let's just give it a few seconds or a minute. I might have to pause this recording if it's going to take a while. We'll see. Okay, right here, as you can see, it says PostgreSQL. So we know that it's PostgreSQL. The database that they're using, it says injectable right here. Just gonna put yes. Okay, so now it's done. So earlier we just saw some things on top. We know that our database, as I said, is PostgreSQL. I'm gonna go up. So it says it's injectable. So it's running PostgreSQL 8.1. That's the version. Okay, so now that we have this information and now that we know it's injectable, I'm going to ask it to give me a shell so that I can interact with this database. So I'm going to put OS shell, press enter again. Okay, as you can see here, it's giving me an OS shell. So from there, I'm going to have to uh, there's something called reverse shell where I capture the output that is going to provide to my netcat listener and provide the output over there so that I can access the database in an interactive mode. So I'm gonna use the bash c command. So this just tells it that the next command that I'm gonna do should be executed in a bash shell model. So I do the bash c, I put this in a hyphen, just gonna use one hyphen. And then again, I do a bash I just to tell it that I want it in an interactive mode. I put the greater than $sign to tell it that I want to redirect the standard output to the and the standard error of the current shell to the IP address that I want. And then I'm gonna press space again. I'm just gonna use the dev. Before doing this command, this just specifies that the file dev TCP establish a connection over TCP/IP. It's just to specify that this just specifies that I want this connection to establish over TCP/IP, and after putting dev TCP, I'm gonna have to put my IP address, not the IP address of the target machine. I have to put my own IP address. So I'm just gonna open up another terminal here and show you guys how you can find your IP address in case you guys don't know. So I'm gonna put ifconfig. So this is our IP address. So I'm just gonna copy this. Uh, my mouse is not okay. It's working now. So I'm just gonna copy this, go here, and then I'm gonna paste it. Okay, now we're gonna have to specify a port where we can listen to this and where we can get the output of our reverse shell. So there's a tool called Netcat Listener. So that's a tool where we listen to our port. So I'm gonna put LVNP. This just specifies the L specifies that's incoming connection. So V just specifies we need a detailed output and says that to disable the DNS resolution because we want to disable that, and then RP just specified which port we want it to be connected to. I'm just going to give it a 554. You can just give it a random port within the 534 ports that we have. You just give it a port here, then press enter. So now it says our netcat listener is listening on 554. So it's going to be waiting for us here. Let's go back here now and going to specify here we want it on 554. We want the reverse shell to happen on port 554. All right, so now we use the greater than an and. Before that, I just have to do a 0 here, and I put 1, close my hyphen. I just what I did here is just it just tells it to redirect the descriptor 0, which is here, to 1. This just ensures the input received is redirected to the standard output, which is to our netcat listener. So we specified, we close our quotation here, and we just have to press enter and press Y. Okay, so we should get, okay, so now we have gotten the reverse shell. So one thing I want to mention is this shell is not stable, so we need to convert this to a more stable shell because uh, it can kick us out at any moment. So I'm just gonna do a Python script that we have. So I'm just gonna be importing a pty file on my from my Python, and then I'm gonna spawn a bin bash shell to get an interactive shell. So I'm just gonna show you what I mean by that. So I'm gonna import a .pty file, and then I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put pty.spawn to spawn a new bin bash shell. Gonna open my hyphen, do a bin bash here. Oops. Oh, I'm gonna erase everything. Forgot to put an apostrophe. I can't go back on this machine because it just doesn't allow. If I try to go back, this is what I get. So I'm just gonna open again, open my quotation, import pty. I have to import the pty, and then equals to pty.spawn to spawn a bin bash shell. Gonna open my parentheses, gonna put bin bash, then I'm gonna close it, close my quotation. Before I close my quotation here, I close it, I close my main quotation here, so press enter. It says Python 3 not found. Just gonna try this one more time. Not sure why I got that error. Oh, it was just a misspelling. Yeah, it was just a typing error. I'm just gonna put it real quick again because this machine can log me out at any time right now if the session expires. Oh, yep, it just logged me out while I was putting the Python 3. So I'm just gonna do that real quick. Okay, I'm gonna run my listening port again. I have to run this OS shell again. It's gonna be quick. Righty, just gonna edit my IP address. For some reason it has changed. Just gonna put, I believe it was 168. I'm gonna put yes. Let's see what we can get. It's taking a while that it shouldn't. Oh, I think I got it here again. All right, this time hopefully we can do it before our shell closes on us again. Okay, I'm gonna open my parentheses, import pty, and then pty.spawn to spawn it. And then I open my bracket. I do a bin bash. Then I close it. I close my main. Okay, close my main quotation. So now, as you can see, this is a more stable shell. Still, it's interactive, but again, this is also not a guarantee. So I need to go to the Postgre user as soon as possible to get a permanent to get a permanent grasp on this machine. So first thing I want to check is the var it's called the var www.html. So the reason I'm checking this is it's just because it's a common location where we can find a web application in a Linux system. So I'm going to change my directory to there. I'm going to put ls. Okay, so now we see a different file. So this bg.png is just a background image for a web application. Our dashboard .js. It's a JavaScript. As you can see, it says JS. It just contains a client-side scripts. Our index.php, we saw it earlier. We also have our dashboard.php file. This just presents the main dashboard of the page. So from here, we can just start from here. We can cat this dashboard.php. And remember, it's always good to grep the output because we don't want to see a long output. Okay, just grep the password keyword. So as you can see here, it looks like we have a user Postgres. We have a password at this password. So that's a good thing. And if you recall earlier on our nmap scan, let me just gonna go back. On our nmap scan, we saw we can do an SSH. So this machine allows us to connect through SSH. Let's see. Alrighty. So we're gonna try to go and connect using SSH. So I'm gonna go back here. So I already have my password here. So I'm just gonna copy this. So at this point, I can even exit out of the system. So I'm gonna exit again. So I'm gonna SSH to SSH. I put the user here. I put the Postgres user. I put @ and then I need to put the IP address that we have here, our victim's IP address. So 10.129.60.78. So which is 10.129.60.78. Okay, and I press enter. Just write yes. Asks for a password. Remember, I just copied this. Just gonna make sure I copy this and paste this right here. Okay, good. So right now we're in the database of Postgres. So if I put it says Postgres, so I'm this user now. So now I'm not afraid that the system is going to kick me out because I am a user now. So I'm in the user field now. So it's much easier to navigate and to take our time at this point. So let's see what we have. So when I when I list what I have, I say a user.txt file. If I cat our user.txt file. So this is our first user flag that we just got. So this is the first user flag. From here, it should be easy to escalate our privilege. I'm just going to save this flag. I can create another. I can create another terminal here. Just going to zoom it a little bit. I'm going to cd to my vaccine folder. and then just gonna save the hash that I found. So I'm just gonna echo this, and paste this here, and then I'm just gonna call this user flag. So we successfully got to our database and captured our user flag. Just gonna save this. Okay, just want to make sure. So we have this flag. So we need this to paste this on our Hack the Box challenge. So I'm just gonna go back again, try to escalate our privilege. So let's see what we have. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna see what this user can do with a root level privilege and see what he can access. So I'm just gonna put sudo l, I'm gonna paste it. Oh, I was just pasting the password that I got from previously, but it's not letting me in. Okay, maybe maybe I got the password wrong. But while I'm here, I just want to see something. I just want to see if I can go to the root from here. So obviously it says permission denied because I can't access the root right now. Okay, cd home. This is what we have in the home directory. Okay, we have a user called Simon. See what's there. Okay, there's nothing here. Gonna go up again. See also that says FTP user. This is FTP. Okay, I'm gonna try my sudo. I'm gonna grab this password again and try it. Gonna copy the selection. So I'm gonna do sudo l again to list out what this user can do with super user. Basically, I'm just trying to see what this user can do with super user access. So I'm gonna press sudo l. It asks for a password. I'm just gonna put the Postgres password. Okay, so when I paste it now, I see some information. It says user Postgres may run the following commands on vaccine. So it says it can run the bin vi etc Postgres 11 main pghpa.conf. So this particular file pghp.conf, so it's a file that controls and authenticates for authentication for PostgreSQL. So it's good that we can run this as a sudo user. So now, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to use this. We're gonna have to use this in a text editor and see what we can manipulate. So because this is a really valuable thing, this is the one that controls the client authentication for PostgreSQL. So I'm gonna run this command on sudo because it says we're allowed to run this in sudo. And then I'm just gonna copy this and paste it. Let's see. I'm just gonna copy this. Then I'm gonna paste this right here. Okay, so now we have this database. So I'm gonna try some commands. So the first thing I want to try is to set the shell to bin bash, and I can do that by typing set shell is equal to bin bash. Not bin bash. I should put bin sh just to convert it to a bin bash. So press enter and do another command here. So this time I'm gonna put a shell, which means that which tells it to execute the command and drop a subshell to gain me a temporary access with a root level privilege. So let's see if that works. Okay, so looks like something happened. Let's see. Who am I? Let me type the who am I command. Okay, so we have successfully escalated our privilege. Now we are the root user. So from here we can grab the root flag. So let's see. I'm just gonna, alrighty. So I can just cd to root. Remember, before we just got denied while we're trying to change our directory to the root user. Now we have actually gotten to root. Let me see what's in there. I see a root.txt file. So that should be our root flag. So root.txt. See what's in there. So we see that we have our root flag right here. Just gonna copy this and put it, do the same thing that we did with the user flag. So paste this. I can put the root flag. So we just get a root level privilege, so we can do anything on this machine right now. So, but for this lab, we're just getting the flag, and that's all we do. So from here, like let's say if somebody want to run the etc shadow file to see all the users in this system, I just mistyped it. Cat. So we can see all the users in this system right now. Remember saw Simon, Postgres. With the normal privilege mode, we can't run this. It only works if you're a super user like an administrator. So that's what we have here today. So I'm just gonna clear this, and the thing that's only left is to answer these questions. I'm gonna uh, let's see. I'm just gonna leave this for you guys to answer. If you followed me, you'll be able to answer all these questions very easily. This is the place where you submit your user flag. This is the place you submit your root flag. And once you do that, you'll complete this activity and you'll be able to pawn the vaccine machine. So that's all we have for today. Thanks everybody for being here. And with all that being said, just to recap what we did, we performed a reconnaissance on this IP address using our nmap. From there, we cracked our backup.zip folder, and then once we got the index.php file, we extracted the password again. We were able to get to our megacorp webpage. From there, we performed a SQL injection, and we found that the webpage runs on PostgreSQL database. We went to PostgreSQL database, and we got our root and our first we got our user flag, and then we got our root flag. So that's all we did for today. Thanks everybody for listening. Please leave a comment below if there's anything that you didn't get on this lab. I'll be happy to answer those. And also, please recommend any kind of hack the box activity that you want me to perform. All that being said, take care, everybody. Have a good day. Bye.